Hello everybody, welcome back to the second video. This is Facebook Beginners Beyond the Boost Button Guide to Pull More Leads in 2017. You are seeing this video and you're in this blog post. Allow me to scroll further down, and I'm working on the example of the there's three videos, I think, two or three. One was the gastropub, where they are wanting to get more customers in. That's that video. I'm working on the next one, which is, let's call her Claire, the web designer branding group, and she wants to get more clients for her business. So the first thing you have to think about is, who is the audience for this? So I came up with some, just off the top of my head, interests for her, and we can see the list there, and also some people, and then the demographics of it. I said 50 to 75 mile radius from the office. That's if in-person consultations are needed. If not, it can be anywhere in the in the world, really. So let's plug in some interests and see what happens. Let me see which. So let's go to the ads manager. I'm in the audience. I'm going to cancel this. So under the hamburger here at the top, all tools, assets, audiences, brings you here. Click the create button and a saved audience, and scroll that up. So let's leave it for Ireland at the moment here, and let's begin with some interests. And what did we say? Wix. Let's see if it comes up. Wix. Interest in the pages related to Wix, wix.com. What did we have? HubSpot, HUBSPOT. Yes, not as an employer. HubSpot. Divi theme, DIVITHEME. Let's see if that comes up. What comes up with Divi? Nothing. WordPress. WordPress.com. And it does WordPress. Yeah, MailChimp was one. Weebly, there. Constant Contact, GetResponse. So the email service providers. Hootsuite, yes. ClickBank, Infusionsoft. These are all, let me see, interests. WordPress for beginner, WordPress beginner, WordPress for beginners. These are all interests which, and it gives us an amount of 86,000 people at the moment in Ireland, just in Ireland, 13 to 65, targeting all people. And these are interests of people who would more than likely like websites or use websites, services for people who use websites. So I'm creating a saved audience. I think this is extremely broad audience, but there's a number of ways we can go about this. And then there's some people here we could put in also. I'm not sure if Richard Branson is the right one. However, there's some other ones that are there which make it interesting. So let me just leave it at this for the moment. And so, how come I can't? Their audience name, test audience. And it's 86,000 people, everybody living on the Ireland, 13 to 65, which is, obviously not the target. So let's say 30 plus to 60, that drops it down a little bit to 50,000. So this is fairly narrow, and in this audience, I wouldn't use this audience just because it's fairly narrow, but doing it off the cuff, I'm showing you the process of doing it is what I'm doing. So let's say create the audience. And what was I wanting to do with this? Let me scroll back up here to this picture here. it's a very simple picture of what we're trying to do here, which is we have a read magnet. This is the funnel which we're trying to use. The read magnet is a blog post, and I think I came up with some silly title here. The top 10 design elements to consider before building a new website. So if somebody's revamping their website or will be designing a new website or having a new website designed, that would be kind of a top of the funnel. You're kind of aware of that websites are out there, but what things do you have to worry about? Another one would be the 10, the 5 or 8 or the 9 questions to ask your designer before you get a website built. And that's a bit further down in the funnel. That's when they're actually product aware. When a person is product aware, you would use something like that, but it's nevertheless important. Let me scroll back up here. So we have our read magnet, depending on which part of the funnel we're working after. We put this out to our audience of 51,000 people. It should be greater than that, I think. I'm kind of isolated, insular here in the country of Ireland because it's so small. There's only 2.5 million people on Facebook, so can't do a whole lot of stuff. You create a clicks to website objective conversion clicks to website campaign to that audience using your blog post that you've created, which is your read magnet. You put it out there in front of them. They would then those that are interested in that topic would click on it, would go over to your website. On your website, on that blog post, you would have then a lead magnet, which would be the next step, which is the 10 questions to ask your web designer before you hire a web designer. The people who obviously download those are then leads, so that would be your lead magnet. Your one-time offer could be anything really, but what you're wanting to do, not enroll in a course on how to build a website, but you want them to take a discovery call. So your one-time offer would be a discovery call. Here would be a discovery call. Book an appointment for a discovery call to see how we can help you. And if they say yes, then you send them to not the enroll in the course, but to the discovery page to create an appointment. And if the answer is no, well, then you send them. You then now have a new email subscriber based on that lead magnet. You can send. Here's one way to go about it. You could send a 3-series email sequence following the gain, logic, and fear methodology, where the first one is, what do you stand to gain by updating your website or creating a new website? And at the end, you have the call to action on that is the book a discovery call session. The logic is, so the gain is also to the that's to the heart, or that's to the head. The logic is also to the head you're appealing to, which is just the logic of it. Businesses who revamp the website, which are responsive design and are centered on 1 or 2 or 3 ideal clients, have better results than businesses that websites that don't. And the third one is fear, where you then appeal to the emotional angle of the argument of why you would need a website. If you don't update your website, then you will lose X amount of revenue this year because your competitors have updated and makes it that much easier, and the user experience is better and whatnot. Then at the end of that, obviously, is the call to action is book the free consultation. And that's how you would go about this. And if they still don't want to, then you dump them in. I would dump them. You move them onto your regular newsletter list. So they're perhaps not ready. Because they subscribe to your lead magnet, or they took avail of your lead magnet, they will more than likely buy from you, but just not now, maybe in 3 months or 6 months. So you don't want to lose them, but you want to put them into your newsletter your weekly rota of newsletters that you send out to your subscribers, and those can then, and you see the email sequence here. This is one of many, but it's somewhere to begin. Copy that at your will, and that is how you create a saved audience. Is if you don't have any existing traffic to your website, which you could then leverage your website custom audience, you need to find interests of people that are interests of the people who are your target audience. And if you do that, then that is one way, that is a starting point compared to nowhere to go. Okay, thank you very much for this. In the next video, I will elaborate on this and set up the actual ads for you so you can see what a clicks to website campaign looks like. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.